Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, David Riggleman, Communications Director for the City of Las Vegas. On this show, we'll be discussing issues related to Ward 6. And the councilwoman who now represents this ward is Michele Fiore, and she joins me now. Councilwoman, welcome to your first Access City Council, your inaugural show. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I have to say I'm very excited. Campaigning for this position was amazing. And one of the pieces my opponent had said was you can't elect her. She's going to have the Michele Fiore show. And here we are having the Michele Fiore show. So thank you. She was prolific.
A lot of people may not know where Ward 6 is located. Now, you know this very well now because you campaigned all across this area. But we'll show everybody out there where Ward 6 is located. It's out in the great northwest area of our city. It's that area with the big 6 on it. And if you live in that area or work in that area, then you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. As we said, you are now represented by Michele Fiore, who was sworn in just on July 19th. And this is, again, her first Access City Council show. For people who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, some background, where you're from. I know some of this now because I've had a chance to meet you over the last few weeks, but for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've been here in Las Vegas for 25 years, originally from Brooklyn, New York. I am a single, I don't want to even say mom now because my kids are adults, and now I'm a single grandma. I have 5 beautiful grandchildren. My littlest one, who's 23, was born here in Las Vegas. All 5 of my grandchildren were born in Las Vegas. My mom lives here. I moved her in with me a couple of years ago.
Whole family,
Italian family, right? Italian Brooklyn family. And so it's really, really exciting. I mean, Las Vegas has been really good to me and my family, and I love it. It's our home. That's a little bit about me. I'm a businesswoman. I have always been in business for myself between the construction industry, paint and drywall companies, home healthcare companies. I have a publishing company. I have a consulting firm. So I have I've generally always had the entrepreneurial self inside.
And Councilwoman, we should tell everybody too, you're no stranger to elected office and public service because you served in the legislature a couple terms as well.
Yes,
right?
I was the assemblywoman for Assembly District 4, which is in Ward 6. It's half of Ward 6. And I served in the 77th and the 78th session, so I got elected in 2012, and I chose not to run for this past session and chose to stay here in the city.
And run for city council,
And a big part is my family. So I have 5 beautiful grandchildren. And so right now I've got 4 of them in riding horses. They start their swimming lessons. My twin grand princesses, Morgan and Mara, are autistic. They're 4 years old. So I am constantly active with my daughters and my grandkids. So being here full time allows me more hands-on with my grandkids. Being in Carson City, I was gone for like 6 months. A lot of folks say it's 4. It's not. It's 6.
People don't realize that. I think when you serve in the legislature, you're gone, as you say, 6 months at a time every other year. It's really tough, and you got to stop what you're doing and move up there during the session. City Council, it's a different thing. You live here and you're hands-on every day to what's going on in your ward because you live there, right?
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Well, Councilwoman, speaking of your grandchildren and the swearing in, let's show everybody from the day that you first came into office. Now, you tweeted this. You said, "So excited to work for the people of our ward." That was your tweet. And, of course, that was a big day for you because you were sworn in just a few days before that on July 19th. It was a little odd this year because the election was June 13th. And usually it's a couple weeks and then we swear in the new council members. But this time around it was more than a month before you were sworn in. So it was a little awkward, again, just because of the way the dates fell. But here you are finally being sworn in on July 19th.
Yes, and it was great. I had my oldest daughter, Sheena, there with my 2 grand princesses, Morgan and Mara, my mom, Lil Fiore, and then my grandchildren, Jake, who's 7, and Jaden, who is his little sister right next to him. And both Jake and Jaden were standing with me, and when the mayor had asked me to raise my right hand, they raised their right hand.
They're sworn
so
in
they
too.
took the oath too.
Yeah,
So Jake and Jaden,
whole family.
it was fabulous. And so and our mayor, she's so adorable. She says, "This is a package deal," and it's a total package deal. I'm a package deal. Yeah.
Well, Councilwoman, later on in the show, we're going to get to meet some of your staff members too.
Yes.
Dan and Chance are going to be on the show with us. We'll introduce them to the audience. We'll talk a little bit with them and you about what you guys hope to achieve and what you want to accomplish in Ward 6.
Yes.
We'll get into that a little bit later on. But we want to talk about some of the things that have been going on since you've been in office already. you have not let the grass grow under your feet. You've hit the ground running. You've already made a trip to D.C., Washington, D.C. to visit with the congressional staff there. So, and tell us about that. What was the reasoning behind getting there to see them?
So for the city of Las Vegas, we have a lot of federal lands issues. So a lot of our water basins, a lot of our flooding areas bump up onto that pesky little agency, the BLM, right? The BLM agency. So, working with them has been quite difficult for our city. So I went to D.C. Last Wednesday, and I met with several of our congressional members. I met with Mark Amadei.
Now, this is Luann Holmes, our city clerk,
Oh,
who just
yes.
happened to be there when you were there. But
Yes.
that's
And
of course, there's the White House.
Yeah, and that's why that was my view from my room. There's Congressman Mark Amadei, and he is such a great help. He's going to be in City Hall with us.
Tell us about this shot.
Oh, that's Vice President Pence's desk. That's his office. So I just thought I'd sit in there and get the feel of the Vice
Check it out a little
President's
bit,
chair. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's pretty heady stuff. you know,
Yeah. I got to go through Zinke's office as well, our secretary. So it was a very productive trip. I met with several of our congressional members. They will be helping us get a federal lands bill through. And it's really, when you have relationships with our DC delegation, I think it's helpful for the city of Las Vegas to be able to get things through,
Right.
and especially with our commissioners working together, it's great.
And Councilwoman, you bring up a good point. So much of the area around your ward butts right up against federal land.
It sure does.
Yeah. So good to have a good relationship
Yes,
and
right?
understand the inner workings
Yeah.
of all that. Exactly right. Councilwoman, a little closer to home. Big project. People that drive in the Northwest, boy, you know about the Centennial Bowl out there. It's the interchange of 95 and the 215, and it's not always been the easiest to navigate. But back on July 12th, a leg of that opened up, a big
Yes.
piece of it opened. And I know you weren't technically on the city council at that point, but I know this is a big milestone for Ward 6.
It's huge. And I have to tell you, Commissioner Brown, because it's all in the interlocal, Commissioner Brown and Commissioner Kirkpatrick had
On the county
invited me
commission,
on
right,
the county commission, invited me to come out and do, hang the flag and do the ribbon cutting with them on that opening. But I had a prior engagement, and so I wasn't able to make it. But it was really amazing. I mean, to get that opened up, it's going to help us in the Northwest with less congestion, and I'm very, very excited about it.
Yeah, that is a big interchange project. Henderson has its Henderson Bowl, and of course there's the Spaghetti Bowl downtown, part of Project Neon, but this is the big project in the Northwest, and this is the Centennial Bowl, and it's that huge interchange, because sometimes, as we said, Councilwoman, it's not been the easiest to get from 95 onto the 215 or vice versa. You kind of twist and turn. Now it'll just be like any other major interchange. At least we're getting closer and closer to that. So
Yes.
still some time before it's completely done, but these were some major milestones completed that day. So
It was really cool. It was really cool. And we have, Ward 6 is like Disneyland, because we have all the land, we have a lot of development happening, and plus we have a lot of rural, and we have a lot of horses out there. So it's a very exciting ward.
It is, and you're right, Councilwoman. It's a kind of a blend of the growth of the urban area, but still a real flavor for that quiet rural area too.
Yep.
And they kind of meet, and that's a challenge, I know, for the council and for the staff here at the city to kind of make all that fit and blend together.
And make everyone happy.
Right.
Make our residents happy,
Right.
make our horse folks happy. Yeah, we just have to make sure everyone loves their quality of life.
Has the opening of the interchange really helped, or at least that leg of it, your commute in the morning? Back
So
and forth?
I take a whole different route.
Yes, okay,
So
right.
I do. I just take 95 from Ann right off it to Valley View, and then I take Alta right down to Maine. It's really like a little secret passage, and especially So when I don't have time, I just take that route.
Yeah, very good. Councilman, of course, it's summertime. That means monsoonal season around here, and Ward 6 gets its share of flooding out there, street
Big
flooding.
floods.
Because the infrastructure, the flood control projects are still being added out there. So the city, we tweeted this recently. We said, Centennial Hills residents, this is our message to them, our crews are working hard to get the streets cleaned up after yesterday's storms. That was back on July 26th. And of course, that had elicited some response from some of the public out there. Julie said, "Thank you, superheroes, for helping to bring a fresh start for everyone. And what she was talking about is getting things cleaned up, because
Yes.
we'll show you every time it rains, there's going to be some area of town where we're going to have scenes like this, where mud, debris, rocks, whatever it might be, are going to get swept out into the street, into the roadway. And,
It's definitely tough.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
tough.
It is. And we've got good crews here at the city, our operations and maintenance. You see the guys out there. We try to be as responsible as and responsive as possible to get that cleaned up so that people can get on with their lives and not have to be dodging everything in the street. But I know it's very important to you, Councilwoman, to see that kind of work get done. You can see some of the aftermath of the rain there. So.
It was tough. I mean, we got 1.6 inches, and in Ward 6, we get a lot of flooding. And so we have the greatest, I have to say, being here at the city, we have the greatest city workers that come out and save us.
We've got our director of that department is a man named Jerry Walker, and he takes that stuff seriously. When it's raining, he's out driving around to make sure that he wants to see, eyes on the street, what needs attention right away. And he and his team are on it as quickly as possible. So and we work in conjunction with the county out there too, because there's some county islands in Ward 6.
Yes.
Areas of the city surrounded, areas of the county surrounded by city, and we work in conjunction with them to get all those areas cleaned up. It can be tough, depending. 1.6 inches of rain.
It was a lot of rain.
Yeah, I know. That's a lot of rain for us.
It's a lot of rain.
When you only get 4 inches a year,
Yes.
that's a fourth of it right there. Yeah. So, well, very good. Councilwoman, again, you've been in office just a very short time, but lots going on. You had a back-to-school fair on July 20th. Yes. You had been in office for all of 10 days, and you already had a back-to-school fair. Nothing wrong
it
with
was
that.
great. That back-to-school fair was great. A lot of the kids in our ward came and received school supplies, and their smiley little faces, and they got to pick the colors of what they wanted, depending upon if they were in elementary or high school or junior high. It was really, the back to school was a big success. And again, our city folks that help put that on and do everything, I can't thank them enough.
They do a great job.
They do a tremendous job.
So the movie was Finding Dory.
It was.
Yeah, so that's a good movie.
And the new one,
Yeah.
it's like the movies are new, and I
Yeah.
have to, it's like a Nevada Energy sponsored. I have to thank them.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we have so much community partnership that I'm just stoked. I'm so stoked.
We should mention, talking about back to school fair, school for the public schools starts August 14th. So depending on when you're watching the show, you might see it a little after the fact, but most of you will see it beforehand. And so be careful in the school zones. Those are going to be flashing again. And just be careful on the street, because the little ones will be out, and the bigger ones too, going to school again.
Yes,
So,
yes. And
kind of a short summer for them.
It is a short summer for them.
Now, if you missed the last movie in the park, don't worry, because Councilwoman has another one coming here. September 8th, you have another movie in the park coming up.
We do.
And again, another good movie. This is the new Beauty and the Beast that just was released here just a few weeks back.
Yes.
So this is going to be Friday, September 8th, 7:30 to 10-ish out at Centennial Hills Park there at the amphitheater. That's a great location. You sit on the grass, bring a blanket.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and
it's so cool. We have the greatest ward. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound biased, but Ward 6, we have the greatest ward.
It is good, and so and again, that's a great movie. It's like the animated version from 25 years ago, but it's now with real people in it. So
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for Beauty and the Beast, because I know I can walk you through Beauty and the Beast, because my 28-year-old, when she was 3, we watched Beauty and the Beast probably like 10 times in a row every day for about a year.
See, I have a 24-year-old, and I know what you're talking about. For us, it was that and Pocahontas too.
Yes.
So I know what you're talking about. And then, Councilwoman, something really great. We do coffee with the councilmen around here, and coffee with the mayors and things like that. But you're doing Mondays with Michele, and you're kind of doubling down, because instead of doing this once a month, you're going to be doing these twice a month.
Yes.
So I want to tell everybody out there, it's going to be the second and fourth Mondays of the month. This is really important, you guys. The second and fourth Mondays of the month, from noon to 6, out at the Centennial Hills Community Center, there in Ward 6, that's 6601 North Buffalo. You'll be available.
Yeah, and we're starting that in September.
Yeah, in September.
Right now, we're revamping the office.
Yeah. So that's really being accessible to people.
Fun.
Yeah, and they can come and chat with you. Don't have to worry about coming down to City Hall. Sometimes a little intimidating coming down here, but it'll be in a more casual environment where they can just chat with you about issues going on
Whatever
in the
they
ward?
want.
Yeah.
Whatever they want. We'll have some coffee in there and donuts, and of course we're going to continue the pasta nights, the pasta dinners at my place, and it'll be it's going to be fun. Nothing's changed. Everything I've done as the assemblywoman for Assembly District 4, the campaigner for Ward 6, everything stays the same. We still do our pasta events. I'm still very accessible. They can call my office, and you'll meet our staff, and it's just going to be great.
And that access, giving people that access, that freedom to get in touch with you, that's really important to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very important to me, because when I work on getting in touch with my elected officials, and I cannot, it's very frustrating, because I just feel like no one's there to help. So we literally are here, we are accessible, and I've made that clear over the last 6 years.
Well, you got some good people to help you get that done. We're going to meet them here in just a moment,
Yes.
Councilwoman. We need to take a short break right now, but when we come back, we'll introduce you to some of Councilwoman Fiore's staff. That's right after this, so please stay with us.
Papa!
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Welcome back. Since this is Councilwoman Fiore's first show, we thought we'd introduce you to some of her new staff members. First, we have Chance Bonaventura, who's on my left over here, and also Mr. Daniel Burdish over here to my right. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. And Councilwoman, you had these guys hired before you even took office. You were ready to go. The day you started, they hit the ground running, working right away. So.
They did. I gotta just say. So Dan Burdish has been with me through Carson City forever, and Dan is my right hand with policy, lobbyist, all of that. Chance Bonaventura has been with me since he's 16.
Wow.
He's 21. He's been on every campaign. He's worked with all of my companies. So Chance has worked with me for 5 years. And so I'm very, very excited to have them both here with me in City Hall.
You know, I have to tell you, I come in early here at City Hall, and when I come in the morning, they're already here.
Yes.
They're already here working.
Yes.
And that's impressive, guys. I mean, for newbies, just kind of getting the lay of the land, you guys seem to have just jumped right in, Dan.
You know, it is. It's the councilwoman. I can't call her Michelle anymore. I used to be able to do that. But the councilwoman expects certain things out of us, and we feel that we have to put it out there for her. Chance is going to do all our constituent services. He's great at it. He spent the day of the rainfall and the day after working with Jerry and his team and with the neighbors out there, and did a great job. And then we're trying to get together everything so that she is up on top of all the issues, and it's just, she's great to work for. I've known her since, like I said, the 2013, the 2015 session. I went to Carson City with her, and she's just, I'd do most anything for the woman.
That's great. That's great. Good people on board.
I have to tell you, I'm lucky.
Now, Chance, you're taking a lot of the constituent questions, as Dan said. What are some of the things that you want to make sure that the viewers, your constituents out there, what would be helpful for you to help them? What's some information you could pass along to them? What do you need that would make it easier for you to help them?
Get our phone number, get our email, and just have your question ready. Anything that we can help you with the city, we're definitely going to be trying to do that. One thing you learn with Michele is work ethic. She works you, so... So I won't be able to go home until I answer all the phone calls and get all the emails.
That's what I've already noticed, that the message from the councilwoman is that no call will be ignored, that everybody is going to get a response on every question.
And she double checks too if I miss one.
That's a good boss.
Yes,
She did. One of the first things she said is every call has to be answered within 24, the next business day. So if you call and leave us a message, we have to return that call by the next business day.
All right, so folks, if you're one of those people who is placing one of those calls or sending those emails, it's going to go to either Dan or to Chance here, and make sure that the councilwoman is aware of it. So, Councilwoman, let me ask you, what do you three hope to achieve? What are some of the things that you really want to make sure gets done out in Ward 6 in your time in office? You've just started here.
Yes.
But what are some things that you want to make sure that you and your team get done in your time here?
So what I'm hoping to achieve is to make sure our businesses, our residents, everything runs smoother and faster with no delays, cut a lot of the red tape, get rid of unnecessary bureaucracy, unnecessary regulations, unnecessary rules, stop delaying business licensing from happening. I've learned that we do have a temporary business license. Make sure that the city of Las Vegas is fair on their business licensing fees, practices versus our counties and our neighboring cities, to make sure that our city takes care of our residents and our businesses in our ward quickly, productively, swiftly, with no problems.
Yeah, and you've said all along too, you want to make sure people have access, hence the reason you have Dan and Chance here as well. Dan, let me ask you this question. You're a veteran of the legislature with the councilwoman. The focus at the legislature is more statewide issues. The focus here is certainly neighborhoods and Ward 6 primarily, although the city overall. Difference between the two that you found so far?
Probably it's going to be almost the same with me, because I am more of overall in the ward, because I'm working with her more on policy. Chance is more on an individual. He is responsible for the individual concerns, which will take into a homeowners association or a street, but every individual will get everything they need from our office that we can give. So I am more on the policy and helping her with the policy and trying to get what she wants to be done through the council or through the businesses and talking to them. And Chance is in charge of the individual out there that's living out there.
Okay, very good. Chance, what about that? What are you hearing primarily from folks? Is it road projects, or is it storms, or what are you hearing?
Yeah,
already?
well, being on the campaign, I went all through the ward. I've talked to all the people, and the biggest concern was just being heard, just getting contact back from the office. And so that's going to be our biggest focus, is when someone contacts us, they're going to get a reply. As soon as we can get them an answer, we send it out. So that was the biggest concern, that we had people, contacting us about a development or an issue with graffiti or something like that, and they would contact, and they want a quick and the response back from us. So.
And that's what you expect,
Yes,
is that quick response.
absolutely.
So it sounds like they got their marching orders here. they know what to do.
Yes, we're a great team, and we don't have to practice working together. Chance, like I said, has been with me for 5 years. Dan has been with me for all of my sessions, my special sessions. He's worked diligently with others, so we all play well in the sandbox together. And so I'm not starting from scratch. It's like these guys have been with me from the beginning.
Well, like I said, I was impressed that you had identified them before you came into office. You knew who the staffers were going to be. So you guys all, on the 19th, when you were sworn in, you guys really were ready to go that very day. You were off like a shot, and like you'd already had it planned. You knew what you were going to be doing, and that obviously is a help to the constituents because there's no break from the old to the new. Somebody's there to take my call and to address my concerns and my issues. So, and your guys are going to be doing 2 Mondays with Michele a month starting in September. That's great. So you'll be hearing from, and I assume, Dan, you and Chance are going to be alongside, and you'll also be there to help answer those questions.
Yep.
Very good. Well, folks, it's great to have you on the show. You both did great. Councilwoman, you did too. We're running low on time. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Anything you want to add, Councilwoman, or Dan, or you, or Chance, before we have to say goodbye?
The only thing is, because of her relationship with Marilyn Kirkpatrick and Larry Brown, we'll work also with the county, because he fielded a lot of calls from county residents that thought they were in the city, and we were able to work together with the county to make sure that things were done out there, and that's a big deal.
Really
in
important.
Ward 6.
That's so important.
Yeah, and people don't realize in Ward 6 we have a lot of those county pockets in there. We have more county mixed in than
It's
you
true.
know, a lot of the other wards. So
we always showed the map at the beginning of the show, and it's really apparent. You've got those county islands, those areas of the county completely surrounded by city, and the residents are confused as to what jurisdiction. They just want their street taken care of, or they just want some problem, that barking dog that just keeps barking, somebody to deal with that, you know. So.
And that's one of the first things she did, was make sure that she has a working relationship with Commissioner Kirkpatrick and Commissioner Brown, and we were able to build on that with the flood that we had out there. Is working
and that was
with county
that's
staff.
the biggest thing too, is if you call and you're in the county, we're not just going to say, well, we're city, you can go away. You know, we're going to call the county, we're going to see if we can get them in contact with who they need to be with. When the flooding was going on, I'd call the county and say, look, we have a constituent in the county next to the city. Can you send someone out? And the county was really good about it. They said, yeah.
And it's
we'll
also
send someone out
important too,
today.
because you might have a city residence that's next to a county island,
the inverse,
and the flooding is coming from the county island, and we have to work with the county to make sure that is done. So
Great
I
point.
mean, it's her contacts there are great.
It's life in Ward 6. That's true. That's very true. Well, great job, all three of you. Councilwoman, we got to say goodbye. Anything? One last word from you? Anything you want to say?
I just want to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to be their city councilwoman for Ward 6. It's really exciting to serve the people, and we really do pride ourselves to make sure that we serve everyone.
Yeah. Well said, and congratulations
Thank you.
on your inaugural show and on being elected to the city council.
I love
as well.
it. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, in the spirit of making sure that the constituents can find you, we always tell everybody out there, we always want to hear from you. So if you have something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Fiore, you can always find her on Facebook and Twitter. She's great on social media. You can also contact her just by picking up the phone. She's at 702-229-6405. This is what Chance was talking about. Or you can send an email. Her address is mfiore@lasvegasnevada.gov. And these guys promise they'll get back to you, and I know they will, because I hear them doing it every morning anyway. Dan Burdish, great to have you on the show. Chance Bonaventura, good luck to you here at the city. And Councilwoman, good luck to you as well. We'll see you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 6.
Love
All right.
it. Thank you.
Great job, everybody. Good job.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Access City Council. Don't miss our next show beginning on August 17th with Councilwoman Lois Tarkanian. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.